What's up, YouTube? I'm Alberta26, and my camera is shaking like crazy. Okay. Nope. Stop it. Stop it. Okay. With Battle for Azeroth looming, it's time to really nail down what your main is going to be. I know I've procrastinated as long as possible, so I finally settled on what I'm going to play, but maybe you're still on the fence. So here are 7 things to consider when selecting your main for Battle for Azeroth. Alright, these aren't in any particular order, so here we go. Coming in at number 1, we have role. Are you going to play a tank, a healer, or a DPS? And if you say DPS, is that a ranged DPS or a melee DPS? This will really help you narrow down a class for sure. You may already have a certain class that you prefer in one of these roles, and picking this will just make it a snap decision for you. Another thing to consider in this category is what kind of off-spec you'd be interested in and or willing to play for the sake of your raid. It may be that you main a healer, for example, but a fight doesn't call for so many healers and you could go DPS. What DPS are you comfortable playing in that situation so that you're not just dead weight for your raid? Because if that's the case, they'll probably just replace you for that fight. I don't know, some guilds do that. I said these are in no particular order, but I feel like this is a natural starting point when you're trying to figure out what class you're going to play. So there you go, gotta pick a role. Alright, number 2, armor type. So loot competition has essentially been completely removed in BFA. You don't have tier set tokens anymore, and you don't even have group loot or master loot anymore. Oh, it's personal loot, all of it. So you're not competing with anybody for any drop. So then why would armor type even matter? Well, I mean, I can't say that it particularly does, except for if you were in an organized raid group, you might try and stack the group with a particular armor type, and in that sense you could funnel gear. A lot of people are hailing this loss of master loot as the death of mythic raiding guilds, but I'm interested to see how it goes. This is clearly a benefit. Play whatever you want. Alright, number 3. Will this class change mid-expansion? This is probably a little bit speculative, but there are some cases where we have precedent for this. For example, enhancement shamans and elemental shamans. I do believe in the Q&A recently they stated that they do have more changes that they want to make to those classes. They just ran out of time. I know for Prot Warrior, it feels like maybe talent-wise they ran out of time. They left a talent as undetermined until the last minute and then shoved Dragon Roar in there. I don't think they kept it undetermined for weeks and weeks just to put Dragon Roar in at the end. So Prot Warrior may yet see some more changes as well. So yeah, peek into your crystal ball and see if you can figure out maybe if your class is in a good spot and it's not going to change. My crystal ball's in the shop though. How am I supposed to make predictions like this? Well, you know, it is difficult to call, and they could change anything at any time anyway, just decide they're bored. But with their new lease on trying to be upfront about class development and change, and not making overall sweeping changes to everything this expansion, I think it's fair to expect that some things will change down the road. But for all I know, you love your class so much that they could make it super boring and you would still play it. Well, why would you still play it? Well, maybe it has something to do with number 4. Does the class fantasy resonate with me? This seems like a kind of loosey-goosey criterion, and it is. It may not matter to you at all, but I gotta put it in here because it matters to me. Class fantasy is something they've been trying to emphasize a lot more, and I think they've done a little bit more. I feel pretty buff when I'm playing my warrior, you know, get my flex on. But like I said, this may not matter to you at all. It may not matter exactly how you're raining death down upon your enemies, merely that they die may satisfy you. Somewhat tied to number 4 is number 5. Can I select relevant racials for the activities I do? You know, is obviously going to be part of your class fantasy. Are you an orc warrior? Are you a Tauren warrior? Are you a warrior at all? I just play warrior, so I assume everybody else plays warrior. Racials aren't going to make or break your class choice, but in some cases you can get racials that complement your professions or other aspects of your class. Like orcs have that increased pet damage that's pretty tasty for a pet class, like a beast mastery hunter or the demonology warlock. Or maybe you'll try one of the new allied races. Void elves look pretty cool for caster class, but not a lot of wrong answers here. Alright, number 6. Do I find the gameplay fun and rewarding enough? In theory, you'll be playing this class through the entire expansion. Some people switch mains mid-expansion, but if you don't have time for that, you're going to be playing this for an entire expansion. So the gameplay's got to be on point. It's got to make you feel good. It's got to, you know, tickle you just right, something or other. From what I've seen, tank gameplay all seems to have slowed down a bit. I'm not sure how I feel about this. It seems like they're kind of slowing everything down. Maybe they felt like they overdid it a little bit with the artifact weapons. Who can say? Either way, if you're going to play something for a whole expansion, you better like it. And that's that. So, number 7. Does it have cool transmog? This is obviously a throwaway, but also not. For example, Demon Hunters are the universally considered best tank class right now. I am not going to play a Demon Hunter. They have no good transmogs. And the decent ones that they have are rogue transmogs. Terrible. So, you know, depending on what's important to you in the game, you do have to look at your character all the time, but you may not care. You may just transmog all greens. That's a thing people do. I don't know. Transmog. Are you going to look badass while you're battling for Azeroth? So that's it. That's my 7 things to consider. Me, personally, I've ended up selecting Protection Warrior. We knew it was going to be a tank. I was very hyped for Protection Warrior as we went into the alpha. Unfortunately, the class has seen some alterations to what they kind of said it would be. Ignore Pain is still our bread and butter, and it's on the global cooldown, whereas it used to be off the global cooldown. And Dragon Roar, that throwaway talent, I don't know what's going to happen. But I feel that right now it's viable, and I can't imagine them changing it in such a way that the stats that I stack are not going to be any good. And I've missed playing my warrior, so I'm really excited. They seem to be looking pretty strong as is going into BFA. So that's the main that I chose. These are the 7 criteria I used. Maybe they'll help you select a main for Battle for Azeroth. Either way, I'm Alberta26. Thanks for watching. Game on.